Hello everyone, here is Fix Team. I'm Anthony. I'm very happy to meet you here. Today we are showing you the online class. Okay, come on to the class. In the last class, we have been talking about when the problem phone get to your hand, only two stages. One, the phone can power on, can turn on. The second is the phone cannot turn on. And the phone get to your hand, the screen, the LCD is black. The first thing we need to confirm that is the phone is on or not. How can we confirm that? We can use the phone connect to the computer and see the items have been show you the phone have been connect or not. If we have showing you this, it means that the phone is on. And if you connect to the computer, the items have not show you anything, even the items have not come out. And we also can put off the silence key, and the phone have not moved, not stored. It means that the phone is not on. And if you check it out and the phone is not on, and you can one step by one step to check it according to our last class. And if you check it, the phone is on, but the LCD is black, and you can, according to this class, to give you the solution to one step by one step to repair it. Today's class is same like the last class. We have three things need to teach you guys. The first is the principle, and the second is the measurement and reply, and the number three is case strain. And when we reply the display circuit, we need to know that the display and touch what is the process. When the phone is power on, can turn on, and the display circuit is work first. After the circuit is normal, and the backlight circuit will work. And after the phone enter into the system, and the touch and the 3D touch circuit will work. So when the phone get to your hand, he can power on, but the display is not work, and the backlight, the circuit also will not work. And the backlight circuit not work, the touch and the 3D touch, these two circuits will also not work. And if the phone can turn on and the display circuit also normally, and when we enter the system and you put the phone into the very strong light, the place, you can see the logo, but it's not very clean. But you also can see it. It means that the backlight circuit have some problem. And if the phone, just the touch and the 3D touch circuit have some problem, we are very easy to repair it, because in this time we can enter the system, have the display, have the backlight. We can very easy to find out which is the problem place. And so we just focus on the touch and 3D touch circuit to repair it is okay. And we repair the display circuit. The most important and difficult things is how to confirm that is the display problem or the backlight problem. How should we confirm that which problem case the backlight, right? If you use the phone in the strong light place and power on the phone, if you can see the Apple logo but not very strong, not very clean, it means that the display circuit is okay. The problem is in the backlight circuit, so we just focus on the backlight problem is okay. If you cannot see the Apple logo when you turn on the phone and put the phone in the strong light place, you cannot see the Apple logo. It means that the display circuit have some problem. So in this time, we just focus on our time in the repair display circuit is okay. So the iPhone display this function, the circuit is including the display circuit, display touch power IC circuit, the backlight circuit, the backlight driver IC circuit, and the touch circuit and 3D touch circuit. And now we one circuit by one circuit to study it. So in this day, we study the display circuit first. And the display circuit need to work normally. He had two conditions. One is power, the second is signal. This power point, he have three power. One is 1.8 voltage power. The second is 5.7 positive power, and number 3 is the 5.7 negative power. One signal is controlled by the PMU, and the second signal is controlled by the CPU. In this case, we first to see the connector, the 13.7 pin, this pin. Okay, this pin. See this 13.7. This line is PP1VA LCM. This is the 1.8 voltage LCD, the display the power. And who send this power? As you can see, this line, and he is controlled by the U2000, the PMU, the mean power IC. The U18 pin, he send this power. You can see that to this connector. Now we see the 13.5 and 13.9, these two pins, 13.9 and the 14.1, these two lines. You can see that. As you can see, here is PM5V7. This is PP5V7. This is power negative 5.7 voltage. This is power positive 5.7 voltage. These two lines, the power all sent by this IC. And this IC is U4000, the display touch power IC. Okay, this is this free power of the display power need to work normally. He need this free power. Now we see his signal part. Now we focus on the signal part, and as you can see, the red line is the power line, the blue line is the signal line, and as you can see, this the 17, 21, 23, and 29 and 31. Those all is the signal line, and which is the important signal line in this class. As you can see here, number 9, number 11, number 15, number 17, number 22, and 23. Those line is connect to the CPU. As you can see, this A9 CPU. As you can see that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 6 line is all is MIPI AP to LCM, and MIPI is mean that this is video lines. The AP is mean CPU, and to LCM is to the display. So this 6 line all is the CPU to display signal line. And now we see the 53 this line. This is AP to LCM reset. This line is mean that CPU to display the reset signal. Those is the display to the CPU to connect the lines. And after that, we see that the display to the PMU, the mean power IC, the connect lines. Now we see the 13.1, this pin, the line, is PMU to LCM PAN ICB. This is the signal line, is the PMU to display. Okay, this is the display circuit, and as you can see that this is the theory and the line, how it works. And you just need to remember the display circuit need to work normally. He need to two conditions. One is power supply. The second is signal. In the before, we have been talking about that the display circuit want to work normally. He have two conditions. One is power. Second is signal, right? And he has two power, right? One power is from the PMU, and the second power is from the U4000 display touch power IC. So that we know if the display want to work normally, he need the PMU and the U4000 display touch power IC. These two IC need to working normally, right? And if the phone can power on, normally the PMU is working normally. So in this time, we focus on the U4000 display touch power IC, how it works. but not very clean. But we can see that. And if you can see the logo, you can see it's okay, but not very clean. It means that the display circuit is no problem, and the problem is in the backlight circuit. And it is the same. When we study how to repair it, the first we need to know that how it is working, what is its principle, alright? And we use the iPhone 6s as a sample. The iPhone 6s screen is the LCD display. And in the back of the LCD display, he have one good LED line. Actually, the display, the screen can work. It means that the LED line is working. The LED need to work. He just give the power to him is okay. So we see the PowerPoint. You find out the 1 and 3 and 5, these 3 pin. The pin 1, pin 3, pin 5, this 3 line is the LED power line. At first we see the pin 3. And this line, the name is PP LCM BLAMODE. And BL means backlight. And ANODE is mean the main power. And you can see the pin 1 and pin 5. Here is CAT1, CAT2. And what is the CAT1, CAT2? CAT1, CAT2, here is the loop circuit. These 2 loop circuit, and at the pin 3, this 9, he conform to become to a full circuit to give the power. And as you can see, this power is sent by the U4020, the backlight booster IC. The backlight booster IC use the A1 pin send the power to the connector, the pin 3. And if just the one line power, the LED cannot on. So that he need to become to a loop circuit. And it go to the 3 and go to the 1 pin and become to a loop circuit. Why he have CAT1, CAT2? Because I have talking to you before, he have 2 group of the LED. So he need 2 loop circuit. So you just need to know that the backlight need to work normally. The IC U4020, the backlight booster IC need to working normally, alright? Because this IC give the power to it. So we continue to focus on this IC, how it's working, how is it possible. And we have been talking before the U4020, the backlight driver IC, booster IC, his main function is give the power to the backlight. And he had one more function after the iPhone 6s. And the one more function is provide the power to the flashlight of the front camera. When we use the front camera, the FaceTime camera to take a photo, we need the flashlight. He will in a second to give us a strong light to the LCD to lay as the flashlight in the LCD and let the FaceTime camera take the photo more right. And same like other IC, the backlight driver IC, he also need 2 working conditions. One is power, second is signal. He have 2 kinds of the power. One is the power supply is from the PP-VCC mean, and the second is from the PMU give the 1.8 voltage to him. And the signal is from the CPU. CPU give the signal, control signal to him. And for example, the B2 and the A2 is the CPU I2C control line. And the C2 and the C3, this 2 line is the DWI data line. And the D1 pin the 9 is the CPU, the in power line. And the D2, this signal is from the baseband. Baseband give him a wake up signal. And this is the U4020, the backlight driver IC, the circuit, the principle. And continue to talking about the touch circuit. And the touch circuit, this function to repair is also very easy because the touch, how do we know the touch have problem? It must, the phone can power on, right? And the touch circuit want to work normally, he also have 2 working conditions. One is power, second is signal. And he have 2 kinds of the power supply. One is 1.8 voltage from the PMU, and the second is 5.1 voltage from the U40 display touch power IC. And as you can see, this 14-3 pin, this line, this is the PP1VA touch. This is the touch 1.8 voltage power. It's sent by the main power IC, the PMU, the U16 pin. And you see the connector on the right and the 13 pin. This is the U4000 display touch power IC. Give him the 5.1 touch power. And now we see the signal line on the right of this connector. And we see the connector pin 8, pin 14, and pin 22, 24. Those 4 pins, the line is from the CPU, the SPI control line. And now we continue to see the connector, the 14.2 and 14.4, these 2 pins. And the 14.2, this pin, the line is the touch to the CPU interrupt signal. And the 14.4, this pin is the CPU to the touch, the reset and clock signal. And this is touch circuit, the principle. Okay, now we go to the 3D touch circuit. And the 3D touch circuit need to working normally. He also have 2 working condition. Alright, one is power, the second is signal. And the 2 power all is from the U4000 display touch power IC. One is PP 5.7 power, and the second is the PM 5.7 power. This is power negative 5.7 voltage. Okay, now we're going to see the signal line. The first we see the 29 pin, and this line is the pressure to the display sync signal. And what is the sync signal means that it controls 2 functions and more than 2 functions in the same time. This is sync signal. And we see the pin 2. This is MAMBA to LCM D driver signal. This is mean that pressure to the LCD driver in power signal. And then we see the 20 and the 13A pin. This 2 line is a special line. This is the display connector to the fingerprint connector I2C line. Why we say that is so special? Because this 2 I2C line is just connector to connector, have no control by the CPU. Okay, this is the 3D touch working principle. How it working, you will know that. Now we after finish the principle study, and we talking about the how to repair, how to test, how to check. First, we're talking about the display circuit, measurement, and repair. And when you get the phone you confirm that it can power on. And the screen is black. And the first, we need to change LCD to test it. And if we change LCD, he can finish. It means that the LCD have some problem. We just change the LCD troubleshooting, right? But after we change LCD to test, still not work, it means conform to the motherboard have some problem. So the first we need to test the connector, the display touch connector first. We need to test this display connector about the display line is normally or not. We can measure the resistance of those lines. If all the resistance is normal, it means that the line is not open. And if we retest the line is abnormal, maybe when we test it, the line is short, maybe the line is open. So we just focus on those lines we have been found out the problem line, repair it is okay. If the line is normal, we do the next step. And how to repair? If you find out the line is short and maybe some component in this line is short, so we need to find out which component is short and we change it is okay. And how to repair the line is open? Maybe we need to make a jumper, right? Maybe some IC, some component in this line is loose, maybe it's damaged, so we need to test it and change it. Maybe also need to make a jumper. Okay, after if you test the line is normally, and we do the next step, we need to test the voltage. First, we need to test the reset signal. Normally, the reset signal, the voltage is about 1.8 voltage. So we can test this 1.8 voltage to confirm this signal is okay or not. And if this reset signal, the voltage is abnormal, normally most of the case is the CPU have some problem case this voltage is abnormal. Maybe the reset signal will case by this. And after we test if this line is normally, and then we do the next step. And we need to test the I2C bus, I2C line, the 1.8 voltage is normally or not. If you test it, this I2C line is sharp, and you need to find out where's the sharp place and repair it. And after you test it, and this line is normal, and then we do the next step. After that, we need to check the power supply is normally or not. If the power supply is abnormal voltage, you need to check the PMU, and maybe you need to repair the PMU. If you get the normal voltage, you need the next step. The next step is you need to check the power of the U4000 display power IC. Because we have been talking about he have two power. One is from the PMU, one is from the display power IC. So these two power we also need to test. Okay, now we're talking about the display power IC, how to measurement and test and repair. After we find out the display power IC is not working normally, the first we need to test it, his power is good or not. Where is his power? His power is PP-VCC mean. So we need to, the first step is check whether the PP-VCC mean, this level of the power is normally or not. If the PP-VCC mean this level of the power is okay, we need to test this IC itself have problem or not. So we need to remove this IC and change a new to test it. After we remove it, we need to test the point in the pan in this under this IC. We need to test the pin connect to the PMU and the CPU. We need to test the resistor of those pins. Maybe those pin all is okay. All is okay, we need to change a new one. When we test the pin in the pan under this IC, the resistor is abnormal, maybe the line connect to the CPU and the PMU is not okay. So we need to repair this line. After that, we need to test the I2C control bus. We need to test not only the resistor is okay or not. When we test this resistor is okay, resistance is okay, it means that this line is just not open. But he have the normal voltage, we don't know. So we also need to test the voltage of this I2C lines. The display power IC want to send the normally power, just the display power IC is not enough. He also need to booster system. This booster system have the booster IC, booster inductor, booster capacitor, and the diode. But the diode is integrated in the IC. Okay, we see the schematic. You can see the U4000 display touch power IC. This is the booster IC. And you see the L4000. This is the booster inductor. And you see the C4002 and C4007 and C4008. This is the booster capacitor. So after you change the IC, it's still not work. You need to test the booster, inductor, booster, capacitor. These four things, four components. You need to change these four things to test one more time. Okay, this is the display power IC, how to repair. Okay, now we're talking about the backlight circuit, how to repair, how to test. In the backlight circuit, the most important is the U4020, the backlight booster IC, backlight driver IC. And this backlight driver IC want to send out the normally voltage, only this IC is not enough. He also need to booster system. According to this schematic, you can see that in the upper, have the SW2, SW1, so it means that he have two booster system. And in the before, we have talking about the booster system. He have the booster IC, the booster capacitor, the booster inductor, and the diode. So the U4020, this is the boost IC. The L4021, the L4020, these two boost inductor. And the D4021, D4020, this is a diode. And as you can see, the C4023, this is the boost capacitor. And in the before we have talking about in here, he have two boost system. One is the SW1, one is the SW2. And the SW1 is the boost system from the front flashlight boost system. And the SW2 is for the backlight boost system. So if the backlight, this circuit is not on, so we need to test the U4020, the backlight driver IC. We can change U4020, this backlight driver IC, to have a try. Change a new one to have a try. After we remove the backlight driver IC, we need to test the pin under the pan. We need to test the pin, the resistor is normally or not. If the resistor is normally, the resistance is normally, we need to change a new one to have a try. If the pin in the pan, the resistance is abnormal, we need to repair this line, the have problem line, to let it to become to normal. After we test the pan, all the pin, the resistance is normally, and after we change a new IC to have a try, still not work, we need to have the try to test the L, the D, and the C. Okay, this is the backlight driver IC, the repair. Okay, now we're talking about the touch circuit. And if you get a phone, the phone can turn on, the display no problem, the backlight no problem, the touch have problem. The first we need to do is change a new LCD to have a try. If the new LCD is okay, it means that the problem in the LCD. After the iPhone 6s, from the iPhone 6s, and the touch IC is integrated in the LCD. So normally the touch problem from the iPhone 6s is in the LCD problem. Just a little case is in the motherboard problem case, this problem. So after we change the LCD still not work, it means that the problem is in the motherboard. So we need to check the motherboard in detail. At first, we need to test the connector, the touch line have problem or not. The resistance is normally or not. So after we test the line in the connector is normally, we do the next step. If the line have some problem, the resistance is abnormal, we need to test the line, which place case the problem, which component case this problem, and repair it. And after that, we need to test this connector, the pin 13.2. Because the pin 13.2 is the reset signal sent by the CPU to this display connector. After that, we need to test the I2C line is normally or not. When we test the I2C line is normally or not, we need to test this line is open or not. And we also need to test this line, the voltage is 1.8 voltage or not, or have a big difference. And if this line, the voltage is normal, we do the next step. If this line, the voltage is have problem, maybe have the component in this line case the short. So we need to find the short place and let it to become to normal. After that, we need to test the PMU. If the power supply from the PMU is normal, we need to test the U4000, the display power IC. Okay, this is the touch circuit repair. Okay, now we're talking about the 3D touch circuit, how to repair, how to test. And the 3D touch circuit is very easy to repair. The first, we need to test the power. Check the PP 5.7, PM 5.7, these two lines, the power and the line is normally or not. And we also need to test the fingerprint connector to this display connector. All the line is open or not, all the line is connect well or not. And normally the touch is normally the 3D touch, this circuit also is normally. And in the before we have talking about the 3D touch, this function need to work normally. He also need two conditions. One is power, second is the signal. All his line is connected to the touch connector. If those line is open, also will case the touch, this function also not work. So normally the touch function is normally, the 3D touch also normally. Now we mainly talking about the 5.7 this voltage, this line, because this is also used in the display line. If this line the power have some problem, also your case this phone have not display. So in other words, it means that the phone can display. It means that the power to the 3D touch also normally. And then the touch circuit, the touch function is normally, and the 3D touch circuit also normally. This function also normally. Okay, this is the 3D touch the repair. Okay, now we share some case to you guys to let you know more about it, more easily to understand it. This is the problem when we repair the iPhone 8. And I'm talking about to you, the iPhone 8, the phone can turn on, but only when the phone turn on, have a Apple logo come out, but not very clean. And this is without a backlight. To troubleshooting this backlight, you must first to determine that whether this is the external ACC problem or the motherboard problem. And we see the solution, and we replace a new LCD to test first, right? And after that, still problem. So it is the motherboard problem. And at first, we need to measure the resistance of the J5700 touch connector. This is a touch connector in iPhone 8. When we test the connector, the 13.7 this pin, it show me is OL. It means that this line is open line. And according to the driver, according to the schematic, you can see that this 13.7 pin is the PP display PL134, which is the 16.5 min power supply to the backlight circuit. This power supply is issued by the U5660 backlight driver IC, which links to the J5700 display touch connector 13.7 through the positive resistor R5733. After we test, we found out this resistor is damaged, and then we make a jumper in this two pin of the resistor, and then troubleshooting. Okay, we show you the next case. This is the iPhone 8 Note Touch. After we change a new LCD to test, the fail is still, it means that this is the motherboard problem. And the motherboard problem, I need to find out this is the power line have problem or the signal line have problem. The first we need to test the touch connector to see the line, the pin have problem or not. When we test the connector, the J5700, the 10 pin is OL, and it means that this line is open. And we can see that according to the schematic, this line is AP to touch MABA9. This is the reset line. This is the signal line from CPU to touch circuit. Pressure sensitive is set signal of this circuit. This signal is sent by the CPU after passing through the positive inductor FL5778. It goes to the J5700 display touch connector and go to the J5800 fingerprint connector. When we miss the OL, it means that this line have some component have not connect well. So after we detect it, we found that the inductor FL5778, this inductor is loose. Because this is positive inductor, if it loose or damaged, after we remove it, we can make a shock jumper in this two pin of the pan. After we making this shock jumper and test again, troubleshooting, this file is solved. And now we go to the next case. This is the iPhone 8 Plus. The phone can turn on but no display. When we repair this problem, we need to determine whether there is no display or there is no backlight in the display. Because different problem, the reply idea is different. First of all, when we meet the touch display and other like this problem, the first we need to change a new LCD to test it. After we test in this case, the problem is still. And all the problem is same like this. We need to first to check the resistance of the connector. This is the J5700 display touch connector. we need to test all the resistance of the pin in the connector. When we test the connector, we found out this connector, the 20 pin, this pin, the resistance is 0. Normally this pin should be 490 resistance. When we use the millimeter to test it, show me it's 0, it means that this line is short circuit. After that, we need to find out the cytometric, and according to the cytometric, we found out this pin, the circuit is PP5V7 display AVDDH. This is mean that this is a 5.7 voltage power supply for the display circuit. And we need to find out this line how it works. And we know that this line is provided by the U5600 display touch power IC. It is sent to the J5700 display touch connector 20 pins through the positive inductor FL5700. Because the short in this line, in which case the display circuit have not this 5.7 voltage. In the before the class, we know that the power, this function will not work normally. And how to find out the short place? We need to use the rosin, the flux press, and smoke to all the components connect to this line. After we cover with the rosin, the flux press, we need to use the 5.2 voltage and 5A power to add to this line. And then we just see that which component is mute. The smoke cover is mute. That component have some problem. So we find out the capacitor C5702. This is the capacitor is the failure capacitor. This capacitor can be removed discreetly if it has some problem. After we remove this capacitor and check it again, the resistance become to normal. So we install the phone and test again. This problem is solved. Okay, we go to the next case. This is the iPhone 8 Plus middle right, middle black display. In the repair, maybe you will meet a lot like this. The display have like this problem. The LCD display is middle is white, middle is black, like this. And we know that the U5615, the backlight driver IC, is responsible for the light circuit on the left side of the LCD. And the U5660 backlight driver IC is responsible for the left current on the right side of the LCD. This is the fault on the right side. So we confirm that the U5615 backlight driver IC, this current have problem. At first, we need to check all the resistance of the J5700 display touch connector to check whether the line have problem. When the setting line this pin we detect, we find that the resistance is OL. It means that this line is open line. And according to the cytometric, we can see that the J5700 connector, the 39 pin is PP display BL12, which is the 16.5 min power supply line for the backlight circuit. This power supply is output by the U5650 backlight booster IC and sent to the J5700 display touch connector 39 pin through the positive resistor R5730. After testing, we found out the resistor, the R5730 is damaged. This is the positive resistor. If this resistor have some problem, we need to make a shock jumper. After we make a shock jumper in this resistor, the 2 pin, and test the resistance again, the millimeter show me the normal resistance. It means that we can install the phone and test. After we install and test, this problem is finished. Okay, we go to the next case. This is iPhone X. After heavy drop, case no touch. In our repair, if you have a lot of the experience repair iPhone, you will know that the iPhone X heavy fault will case a lot of the no touch because in the middle layer have a little pin. Those pin is not connect well, cased by the heavy fault will case the phone no touch. First of all, when we meet the no touch problem, the first we need to do is change a LCD to have a test. In this case, after change LCD, the problem is still. It's confirmed that the problem is the motherboard problem. It seems like the problem when we meet it, the first we need to check the resistance of the connector, right? This problem is no touch problem. So the first we need to test the resistance of the touch connector. The touch connector in the iPhone X is J5800 touch connector. After we test all the pin in this connector, we find out the number 6 pin and number 10 pin. The resistance show me is OL. It means that this line is open line because normally these two pin, one is 390 and 376 resistance. So he showed me OL, it means that this line is open line. And then we found out the schematic. We found that the number 6 pin is RACER to AOP INT. This is the interrupt signal that touch to CPU. And the 10 pins is UART RACER to AOP, which is the receiving circuit that touch to CPU in the UART bus. Those two signal line is linked to the AY11 pin and AU11 pin of the CPU. Through to the positive inductor FL5802 and the FL5804 through to the middle layer, the connect board. When we test these two inductor, the resistance is OL. It means that the touch problem is caused by the loose of the middle layer connection board, that two pin. As we know that the iPhone X, after the iPhone X, the motherboard have two layers. After we layering the motherboard, and then we test the middle layer, the connection board, the S124. Because this pin is connected to the J5800 touch connector. After we test is the normal resistance, so that we think just the middle layer connection board is loose. The loose case the phone no touch. So we eliminating the two layer motherboard and install and test again, the problem is solved. Okay, this is all in this today's class. If you have any question, we can talking about it in the Facebook the group. And if you want to join in our offline class, you also can find Frank. That's all. Thank you so much. I'm Anthony. Looking forward to see you again. Bye bye. Hello everyone, this is all the information in this video class. I suggest you guys see this video one more time and make more notes, and when you study hard you will get more. Okay, we can come back to our Facebook group, and if you in this class have some question you can ask and we will give you the answer. Also you have some problem when you meeting in the repair, you also ask. We also can give you the answer for free. Okay, thank you so much.